I'm Draco Self Important, and you should listen to me. And I'm on, I think, part three of rambling about my ex wife. Uh, let me reiterate the disclaimer. I have a good working co parenting relationship with her. Please don't give her any shit. She's not the one putting things out on the internet, okay? You want to give people shit, give me shit. Hi, here I am. Um, so, I'm quilting, by the way. And by quilting, I mean I'm tying together pieces of fleece. So, I realized the reason that I was like, had I told this before, is because her coming out story is a part of my coming out story, because, like, that's just the order of operations. Because it was like, I came out non binary, then she came out a woman, then I came out a man after we separated. So, like, um, it is very much an overlapping situation. Sorry, all this talking is drying out my throat, and like, if I don't take a drink, I'm gonna cough at you, and nobody needs that. So, I figure out that she's trans. Like, obviously, she knew, but she had inklings, like, way before she gave me any kind of hints and gave me nothing, and that, whatever. I've talked about that before. That is not the important part of this story. So, at this point, we already had our youngest. Our youngest who had just learned to say dada. And I'm like, son of a bitch, now we gotta teach. Because at this point, I was still mama. We came up with an alternate name to call her that wasn't dada. Um, and at this point, because I am dad, the kid alternates between that, the alternate name that we came up with, and just, calling her mom. I usually, like, when I'm talking about her, will say your mother, blah, 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 because, calling her cute pet names is weird at this point. Like, if the kid does it, I will do it. Like, I'm not going to interrupt the flow of conversation to be like your mother when she's, being cutesy about it. Um, but we've got, like, basically a tiny little thing at this point who was still babbling. I think probably like under 9 months, and I instantly, I'm like, okay, this is who you are. I'm embracing this. Let's go. Throwing my dresses, taking her out shopping, doing her nails and her hair and shit, like giving her advice and just, not that I was the best example of a girl, but I put on a good drag for a long fucking time. All right, like, I had everyone convinced because I was told that's what I was supposed to do, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to do it, regardless of whether I like it or it fits. Welcome to every job I've ever had. Welcome to school. Like, my entire life was, you're supposed to do the thing, so do the thing. So, like, why would my gender be any different? Of course, it took me forever to figure it out. Um, God, this society, I hate capitalism so much. Everybody's life is so fucked up because of capitalism. And if you think it's not, you're just wrong. Even Elon Musk is fucked up because of capitalism, because he's got so much fucking power, because he has so many billions of dollars that, like, no one checks him on anything, and so he can just spew out any thought that is in his head, and he just looks like a fucking idiot all the time because he has no consequences for any of his words. So don't tell me capitalism isn't bad for literally everyone. It's even bad for the people that it's good for. Anyway, so as I help her, like, get appointments and shit because that's what she wants. Like, she wants to, like, move on this because she's like, literally, I can remember being like 11 years old and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, like, clearly this is new to me, but this isn't new to you. Um and so she, gets on hormones pretty quickly. Um, and like she also, I can't remember if she was just doing therapy or if she was doing meds or both. Like she was trying to do something at this point regarding her mental health, but I don't remember the details. I don't think that she was on any kind of meds at this point. And honestly, I think she may have bailed on some therapy, but that may have been after. I don't hold me down on either of those things because, like, that part is fuzzy for me. Um, what I do remember, though, is that her mood was more erratic than usual after starting the HRT. And, like, well, duh, you know, um, like, anytime you mess with your hormones, whether it be some sort of hormone replacement therapy or, fucking birth control, or whether it's puberty or pregnancy or any number of things. God, I'm still. The whole reason I wanted to do this quilting shit was so I would stop picking at my face, and yet here I am still picking at my face. Sorry. I have to be doing something. Um, The problem is concentrating on doing this correctly and also speaking. This is not as mindless as I thought it would be because I have to like match colors and my brain like, oh god, I'm so dumb. Uh, Jesus Christ. So I'm like, this is within a couple of weeks. I mean, like, we're talking 2 or 3. We're talking enough time for hormones to make your brain be weird, but, like, not enough time for you to, like, lose muscle mass. You know what I'm saying? Um, we had, at this point, one car. That one car had one key that actually worked. I had a key on. Wait, whose key? Yeah. No, I had a key on my key ring that I kept with me that did not actually start the car but would open the doors because it didn't have the chip. Um, and the key that she kept on her key ring because she was the primary driver because she likes driving and I think of driving as a chore, was the one with the chip that actually made the car go. Um, and so because she was the one who liked driving, and also like she wanted to be able to go to the store, and she was picking the kids up from school, and she needed to be the one with the car at that point. um, she would pick me up from work because I got off work after the kids were out of school, etc., etc. So one day she picks me up from work, and we're pulling into the parking lot, and I forget, she starts to say something, and then she like cuts herself off halfway and is like, never mind. And I'm like, what? And she's like, no, fuck it, never mind. And I'm like, no, I fucking hate it when you do that. It's fucking bullshit. And while I'm in the middle of like launching into this, why do you why do you start some shit and then stop it? It's gonna, like, she throws the car into park in the middle of the drive of the parking lot, like right in, it was not a time like there weren't cars behind her, but she would have been blocking traffic had there been any. um and she like just gets out of the car, but because the car that we had was an absolute piece of garbage, you could just pull the key out while it was still running. And as mentioned, her key was the only one that actually would allow it to drive. So although I had a key that would like fit into the ignition, that would make the ignition turn, it wouldn't actually allow me to drive the car. Like if I put the key in, it would just like the car would just shut off if I tried to drive it. So she takes the key out, leaves the door open, leaves the car running, leaves me with 3 children in the car. And I'm like yelling at her, right? Um, and she's yelling back at me. And My voice does not sound like this at this point, and her voice does not sound like her voice sounds now. Her voice sounds a little bit more like this. And so when she's yelling at me, and yeah, so there's I'm like, I need to park the car, I need to go inside, give me the fucking keys. And so eventually she throws me the keys so I can park the car. I park the car, and then as I'm getting out, before I can get to any of the kids to unbuckle them from any of their, at this point, 3 fucking car seat and or booster seats, like, they're buckled the fuck in. Um, she comes up and she's like, give me the fucking keys. And I'm like, let me get the kids out of the car. And she's like, give me the fucking keys. And I'm like, I'm not letting you take the car. I have to go to work tomorrow. This is fucking bullshit. You can have my keys so you can get back into the house, but you're not taking the fucking car with the fucking kids. And I have to go. And she just keeps screaming, give me the fucking keys. Um, and so I'm like, no, you can have my keys. And I mean, I have house keys. She can get back in the house. And what she said she was going to do and what she ended up doing was going for a walk. She did not need the car keys for that. So I hand her my keys. She spikes them on the ground like a goddamn football, breaking my little Swiss Army knife. It's got it, had like little plasticky bits, and it had like the plastic bit fell off, and like the toothpick went flying and some shit. Um, and so I'm like, what the fuck? And so I pick up my keys, um, and I go, fine, I'll give you your keys, but you're not getting the fucking car key. And so I go to take the car key off. She swears that she thought I was dangling the keys in front of her face, except for the fact that I said, you can have them except you're not taking the car key, and then start like, the words and the actions don't match up with what she says she thinks, but she, as I'm trying to take the key off, grabs at the keys. And so I try to pull them back from her, but I've got them around like one knuckle, and at this point, she's fucking stronger than I am, and she's yanking on the keys, and to the point that, like, at the end of this struggle, I end up letting go of the keys. Like, after all of the shit that I am about to tell you, it hurt my hand so fucking bad that I still had to let go of the keys. But I didn't want to because all of my kids in the car, and this lady is acting uncharacteristically crazy. Like, we're talking about someone who I already know is crazy, who has gone way the fuck over the fucking limit for even her crazy. So she grabs at the keys, and I'm like, no, the kids are in their car, no, give me the keys, give me the keys. And we're screaming back and forth at each other, and like she ends up like next to me, or no, she's on this side next to me, and I think the keys are in my left hand. Yeah, the keys are in my left hand. She's on my left side. She's digging her ass into my hips, pulling my hand away, like trying. It was, oh my God, it was like, it felt so like, oh my God, she knows what's going on and I don't know what's going on. Oh my God, because like clearly like she had been in an actual fight before, and like I've like, like she was raised in some boys' homes kind of a situation. Like she had a rough go, and like I've not, and I was like, ah! And so like literally the thing that goes through my head as the person who was like, I'm like, oh my God. So I'm thinking about like people talking about like, if a dog bites you, you hit them on the back of the head to make them release their jaws and let go. That's literally what I'm thinking as I'm like literally like this, like hitting my fucking wife in the back of the head, screaming, let go, let go, let go, let go, because my kids are in the car and this woman's acting like an absolute, like, you have no idea the like terror in my little soul, that I was like, oh my God, the way that she is acting, if she gets in this car with these kids, what is she gonna do? Right. So I hear noise in the background. That's why I'm hesitating. I'm like, which kid is that? Or is that a pig? Or a cat? I think that might be a cat in the kitchen. Whatever. Um, oh, goodness. When I say pig, I mean guinea pig, not like swine. Just to be clear, I don't have like actual pigs in the house. Uh, that would be weird. Um, yeah. So I'm an absolute lunatic at this point as well. I at some point realized that this shit is not going. Like I flopped myself on top of her because although she was stronger than me, I outweighed her by at that point probably like 40 pounds or something. I don't know, 60 maybe. I was a fatty, but not this fat. Um, I don't know. I don't. You know, I probably was pretty close to this fat, but didn't have the muscle, so it wasn't as tense. um, so I flopped myself on top of her, and still, like, she's pulling the keys so fucking hard, like, I had to let go. And then I'm like standing there screaming. I'm like, now you have the keys. Fucking now what? What are you gonna do? Stay away from the like. And she just like screams "fuck you" and storms away. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And so then I start getting the kids out of the car. So then the cops come knocking on my door because apparently the neighbors thought that there was a man beating a child because they saw me doing exactly what I described to my wife, who was, smaller than my fat ass. Uh, and, like, man, the yelling that they heard that they thought was the adult was her. Like, the give me the keys, give me the keys, give me the keys. Like, and the, yeah, no, all of that, like, that was her. Like, so, hi, I'm a dumbass. I talked to the cops instead of just telling them to fuck right the hell off, and being like, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you please leave? Um, but the point that I said that my wife had just started hormones and like I think like she's the hormones are affecting her. She acted like this is not characteristic. Like I've like bro, I've been under the influence of those very same hormones. I know how fucking unreasonable they can make you. Like it is what it is, man. And like so then the cop is like, okay, you're under arrest, right? They did not Mirandize me, which apparently, according to the Supreme Court, doesn't fucking matter anymore. Um, I uh, ended up in jail overnight. Um, they before the judge, they tried. Apparently, that same neighbor said that they saw me. I don't know which even person they were talking about at this point because they kept confusing me with the ex-wife. Hitting the kids, which neither of us like know. What they saw was me reaching back to hand the kids shit, and what they said was they saw us reaching back to hit the kids. And like when the judge said that and like saw me like like the it wasn't even the public defender at that point. It was like some liaison shit for the hearing. That God, the whole system is so fucked. Yeah, no, I had to spend a fucking night in jail and it's like they had me in the back of the cop car, and at this point, like once the ex-wife had figured out what was going on, she came back and was like, no, 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 don't arrest, no, 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 no. Like please, like this is not going to help anything, like um and I think probably because she realized that she'd fucked up real fucking hard because like had the roles been reversed, I don't think I would have been saying the same if the shit was not like, you know what I mean? Like, if I wasn't the one who fucked up, like, uh, I don't know, man. It's one, like, yeah. No, she was flipping off the cops as we drove away. The cops who lied to me the whole time told me shit like I was going to get my phone. Like, why even bother with that? Just say nothing, bro. Like, you lie for fun? God, I hate cops. I've not, like, Jesus. Like, I've had mediocre experiences with cops, but I've never been like, I don't know, man. Like, even when they do nice things, it feels like they think they're doing you a favor instead of just their job. Like, when I did customer service, I wasn't doing you a favor if I, like, was nice about it. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. And I didn't get to shoot people if they were mean to me, so. Uh, yeah, sorry. I'm gonna alienate a lot of people. It's just who I am as a human. I don't know what to tell you. Um, yeah. So I ended up, this is when I ended up living with my BFF and getting particularly close with my brother because I was supposed to be staying with my mother. And that shit went real bad real fast. Um, yeah. Just like, zero regard for my feelings at all. Just like, you're inconveniencing me and I'm going to make it known at all hours of every day. And yeah, it's going to be your problem for sure. Um, yeah. She was sending notes to me in the diaper bag um, when we would exchange the kids because, like, I would have to leave and she would have to show up. I'm not going to say there weren't times that there was crossover because, yeah, like, that particular kind of no contact order gets violated constantly, and it's like, it is what it is, man. But, like, I expected to come out of jail and have her never want to speak to me again, and then she apparently had been, like, sending messages of apology through my mother and feeling bad. Why do you think she felt bad? So, during the no contact order, we still had to have contact because we had a joint banking account and I had been the one keeping track of all of the bills to the point that, like, if she bought too many groceries, I wasn't going to be able to pay the electric bill because at this point I was the only one working. And, like, so then, she still had to be like, hey, I need this, hey, I need this. So, like, we're still messaging each other, but just, like, cryptic. Oh my God, it's so stupid. And then, like, I end up on a 2-year continuance, which I, made it through all 2 years and then some of not committing any crimes, as I hadn't before then and haven't since, like, save a speeding ticket. Like, that's not, like, and in the process of this, I ended up having to go to a domestic violence class. At this point, I was had an X on my driver's license, so they filed me in with the ladies. So I'm sitting in there with a room full of people who are like, "I punched my sister in the face," and I'm like, I yell at my kids, like, and it's like I would come home and be like, this is not like what the fuck, this is not where I belong. And she would be like, yeah, but you did this. And I'd be like, do you not remember that time that you choked me and threw me off the porch? And she was like, it was nothing like this. She literally said to me, I slipped. And I'm like, that is the most gaslighty shit I have ever heard in my entire life. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, you slipped after I pushed you because you were choking me. You didn't, like, you came up to me while I was facing away from you. You flipped me around. You put your hand tightly against my throat. And when I went, "This is unpleasant," and pushed you away, then you slipped. And then after that, I did nothing. I let you get up and go because my goal was to get you the fuck off of me, not to hurt you. You got up, went up the stairs, got a fucking gun, threatened to fucking kill yourself, and then threw me off the fucking stairs. But no, 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 no. That's not the same as me going, "Give me the keys, the kids are in the car, you're acting different than you have ever acted in your life, oh my god." No. I get assaulted for pouring out booze. Nothing happens to her. I just have to live my life in shame. She gets assaulted. As far as I'm concerned, I defend my children and then I get arrested because she's acting like an absolute Looney Tune and totally out of character even for her worst day. And I get arrested and I get 2 years of being under scrutiny. And the relationship was fucked at that point. Like, already, things were not great. My dumbass, suggested that we be poly. It was not a good plan for the relationship. She met someone who she was way more into than she was into me at that point, because once I had been like, "I'm non-binary," I started to, lean a little bit more into the masculine, and she did not enjoy that. She's, yeah. Um, so she met a lady who's way more feminine than me, because she was very much a lady, big boobies, in your face, whoo. Um, and like, it was like I sent her off on the date with this girl and was like, "Have fun, baby," and then she came back and uttered the words, "And then she read me a book," or no, "And then she read to me something." I don't know. It's not as horrifyingly imprinted into my mind at this point as it once was, because I don't care anymore. At one point I could hear it. Like, at this point, like, it's just a story that I tell, so that's nice. But yeah, it was like, oh god, like the feeling of like, oh, I fucked up when I decided this would be a good idea. Oh Jesus. um yeah, so dude, um it was like obvious that like the shit was not going great, and then she was all crazy, like, and we were already doing like a poly thing, because I remember while we were separated going on dates with my partner at the time, my other partner, not the person that I was telling stories about before, who thinks I'm racist against white people. I'm pretty sure this dude does not in fact think I'm racist against white people. But um yeah, the whole whatever. So after the month-long no contact order separation shit, I moved back home during this 2-year continuance. Basically, and rather than them giving me a 1-year no contact order as a continuance, because like I was financially supporting her, like she had nowhere to go, and it was yeah. Um, so she continues this relationship, and it, like, dude, it's kind of hard for me to like nail down, because my mental health at this point was such a shit show, and it's like part of it was like I couldn't handle the, like, every time that I have had a full-time like 9 to 5 job, there always comes a point that my brain breaks, and then I start doing really poorly, and I start missing time, And like I'm just not like I burn out, man. Like, and it's not intentional, and it's not something that I want, and it's not like, and I feel it like um I don't know, man. I just realized where we're at, so we're gonna pause and we're gonna come back. Apparently this is gonna be 900 parts. I kind of expected it. This is, it's like damn near a decade of my life, so it's probably gonna take a minute to explain. But at any rate, I love you. Be safe. Make good choices. I'll be back.